Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss one of the fundamental topic in JavaScript. That is everything in JavaScript an object? Let us see. So, what are the stuff that we have in JavaScript? Okay, let's list down that stuff first. So, like we got objects, and then we got arrays, we got functions. Okay, and then we got maps, set, and then we got promises, and then we have classes as well. So apart from all this stuff, we do have another set of criteria, that is primitive data types. Okay, so under primitive data types, like we do have a lot of stuff like numbers, like strings, and then booleans, all that stuff. Okay, null, undefined, all that stuff comes under primitive data types. Okay, let's discuss one by one. So our agenda is like just to know, is everything in JS is an object or not? That's the question, right? So like our criteria met for this one. Okay, because like objects are anyway objects, so we don't have to prove anything. Let's come to the second thing, arrays. Let's see whether arrays are objects or not. Okay, for example, I have a const array is equals to something like 1 2 3 4, and I'm going to console log array. Okay, that's fine, array is getting printed. So if I do give a type of array, right, I mean, my bad. See, type of array is an object. Because of that only we are able to see all the methods like find, find index, all that flat method, join method, map method, like all that stuff is available on arrays, just because arrays is also an object. Okay, and now, so we proved that arrays are objects, and now let's look at the function stuff. Okay, for example, I have a function. Okay, function foo. So inside that I'm going to console log of I'm just putting a random string in it, and I'm just trying to console.log of foo, and I call this function. That is okay. So like we are not returning anything, so save as detail got printed, that's fine. So if I do like okay, so if I do type of foo, right, type of function, so I'm getting function. So did I fail to prove that function is an object? No, there is still more. See, if you look at, right, so here I'm going to assign a property to it. So like college name. So I'm treating this foo as a function and assign a property to it. Like my college name is triple IT Newsfeed, so triple IT News. Let's see whether I'm able to console it or not. See, yeah, I'm able to console it. So that means like function is also an object. That's why we're able to assign a key value pair to it. Okay, and we are able to console it as well. And if you look at takes dot syntax, right, see, after entering a function name and then dot, we are able to see lot of these call, apply, bind methods. These are all methods, and like some length property, all that stuff we are able to see, because function is also an object. So this thing is also proved. Now let's see map and sets. Okay, so if you look at let's create a map and check. So just before creating map, if you use your just instincts, right, you can come to know that map without like writing any code, without even just think about a lot of stuff, the like without even think about some details, intricate details, you can just directly say that map and sets are objects, because map and sets are getting created with the help of their constructor functions, right? So for example, I'm going to create a my map right here, new, so map of so I'm going to create like 1 1 and then like 2 3 something, just like that. Okay, so if I try to console dot let's see type of this map. Okay, my map. So if you see it right, it is an object, and without like we don't have to type like rely on type of to prove that maps are objects, because like when you are creating an instance with the help of constructor method, it all obviously it creates a object, right? Like the constructor function obviously creates an object, so there is no point in trying to prove it, so it's already proved. So if you go with sets, right? So like for example, I'm going to create a new instance of a set. So that means like it is a null subject, but for the sake of proving it, let's do it. So type of and I'm not changing the variable name, but like it's not recommended, but I'm not changing it, so nobody gonna put me in jail for this. So if you look at this, right, so it's an object. Sets are also an objects, and here is the set. Okay, now next thing is promises. It is also self proved already, because like whenever we are trying to create a promise, how do we create? With the help of promise constructor, right? So we'll give like resolve and reject callback here, and then we'll write a function and something, all that code goes here, right? If you try to console.log of type of my map, right, let's see what happened. Object is getting printed. So promises are also an object which eventually stores the either a rejected value or resolved value in it. Okay, and then classes are also similar to constructor functions. They have a prototype, so like from that, whatever the instance that gets created, right, all those instances are objects only, so there is no need to prove classes as well. So the left side stuff is over. Okay, now coming to the right side. So let's start with the simple thing, number. Okay, if you look at the number, right, for example, I have a const x is equals to 10, and I'm going to check the type of x. Okay, so it's a number. It's a number. So I think did I fail to prove that number is an object? Okay, let me try some more stuff. Okay, for example, so I'm going to create another variable, another number, with the help of number constructor. Okay, so I'm going to give the same value, 10 here only. So I'm going to console.log of I'll try to console the y, and I'm going to console the here let's console x in the top, and here y comma type of y also I need to get it. So if you look at it, right, so the first one is a number, and the type of like number 10, and the type of x is number. And if you look at the below one, right, this variable, it is also a number, but it's an object. It's an object because we are creating this number with the help of number constructor, so obviously it is an object, and it is like getting stored like this. So an object wrapper will be object wrapper is there. Inside that object wrapper, number is getting present, right? So this one is an object, this one is a number. Now if I do some mathematical operation, what will happen? Because this is an object, what will happen? Let's see, both will give the same result. And let's one more thing, let's see, if I do x dot, I am getting some properties and methods available, object constructors, methods and properties. So I am able to see some things. So let's check for y, this one as well. See, the same methods and properties are available for both x and y. Just because I have used a constructor function to create a number here, we are seeing an object. But previously we are not seeing x as an object, but it is also wrapped by an object wrapper. This concept is called JS boxing. JS boxing. this boxing is like there will be an object wrapper. Inside this object wrapper, primitive values, will get, stored. So what I want to say is like when it comes to this number, it is wrapped by an object. X is also wrapped by an object. That's why we are able to access all these properties for X as well. Okay, because the object, like the variable which got created with the object constructor, it also have the same properties, and the normal primitive data type X is also having the same properties and methods. That means these both are wrapped by an object. That's what I want to say. Now let's check for strings as well. So all these primitive data types are same, but let's just for the sake of curiosity, let's check. Okay, for example, if you take MyStr Shiva, and what will happen if I try to strings, like all these primitive data types are immutable. That means we cannot mutate them, right? So my strings dot what will happen if I give a last name is Rajan, and like will it throw an error? Will it throw an error like my string dot last name is equals to Rajana? Will it throw an error or not? Just pause the video and just try to guess it. What will happen? See, it is coming undefined, because what's happening here is like, so whenever this strings, right? So I have a str something like some X is there. So I'm going to assign like str dot last name is equals to some value I'm giving. So I'm considering string as a object, and I'm trying to assign some properties. At that time, what will happen is, so the boxing, right? The boxing like wrapper is there, right? Object wrapper, that will come to rescue here, and it will convert this primitive data type to an object, and it will create last name, and this value will be assigned. And once this operation is done, right, when the interpreter goes to the next line, at that fraction of time, what will happen is like this object type will get converted to the primitive data type again. Okay, that's why when we are trying to console this, right, so it is checking for, it is considering it again, we are using dot syntax. So object wrapper will come to rescue here, and it will try to convert this primitive data type to object type, and then it is checking for a last name in it, and it won't be present, because like it will be vanished by that time. So it won't be present. That's why we are getting undefined. Instead of getting error, we are getting undefined. Okay, that's fine. Now if you look at MyStr dot, see here a lot of properties and methods are present. So all these index of all these replace dot all, sub str, all that stuff is coming from where? This is all coming from the object wrapper. That's why what I want to say is like, are there, right? Boolean, but what I want to say, like all these primitive data types there, right, these are wrapped by an object. That's concept is called JS boxing. So what I want to conclude here is like, in my opinion, everything in JavaScript may not be an object, but everything in JavaScript either an object or wrapped by an object. So that's what, in my opinion, this is what the conclusion I came up with. So you just you guys try out some different scenarios, and like push yourselves to try different examples and different code stuff, and prove me wrong. Okay, that's it for now, and in the next class we are going to discuss utilize all these this class, this tutorial, and then the previous one which where I explain about the constructor function and all this stuff will combine, and we'll try to explore prototype inheritance in depth. Okay, until then, happy coding. Bye bye.
Yeah.